Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. This is my Porsche 911 991. It's a Carrera 2S. It's a 2012 model. It's currently got just coming up at 21,000 miles on the clock. And I've owned the car for about 6 months now, so what I really want to do is try and give you a bit of knowledge on, well, not really knowledge, but a little bit of information about sort of how I found the past 6 months. The title of this video is really 5 things I hate about the 911, but it's not a hate campaign, it's not a witch hunt, because I'm also going to make a video of 5 things I love about the 911, or the new 911 991. So this video really just focuses on the things that I don't like, and it's not necessarily something that would make us not buy the car. Some of them are just small niggly little things, like the first thing, for example, is it's not a massive thing. And if I knew about this, well, I did know about it, but before I bought the car, would it have made me think otherwise? Absolutely not. It's just something that annoys us, and you probably can't see it on camera here, but this little this sort of armrest here, it's so low down. It's absolutely pointless. Although it's it is a little cubby hole pocket. It's completely pointless. Why not sort of elevate it? And I know everyone's got different sort of size elbows and arms, and they have their seats in different positions, but this to me just seems way too low. Any other car you get in, it's always going to be sort of about this height, a little bit higher. So that's the first thing that really annoys us about this car. And as I say, that there won't stop us from buying the car. I'd buy another one if it was like that. It's the car that I love, not necessarily what's this guy doing. The second thing that really annoys us, and this one, oh shit, gritters. I hate gritters. When you're driving past them, you're probably the same. Yeah, so the second thing, that should probably be the first thing, really, and that is so annoying. And if I knew about this before buying the car, then I probably might have thought twice about this. And it's interior rattles. I absolutely despise interior rattles. I'm not sure if you can. I mean, I've got no radio on at the moment, but I can hear sort of quite a few rattles going on now. The very first rattle the very first rattle was actually on the test drive, and I said to the guy at the Porsche dealership, look, I want this rattle rectified before I actually sort of take delivery of the car. So they did that. They were a bit skeptical about telling me what it actually was, but they fixed the rattle, and then about 2 months later it came back, and that was a rattle from the rear. So I haven't exactly got that down to the bottom of that one yet. Other than the rear rattle, there's a rattle on the passenger's door, which is right there, and then there's also a rattle from the front, which is like the dashboard area. Now I've managed to locate the front rattle, and what it is, it's sort of, if you pull up the sort of the boot or the bonnet area, there's like a black plastic cover which covers the battery and like the brake booster, things like that. It sort of rattles around, and that's what causes a rattling sound from the inside. So that's one of the things I really hate. I mean, a lot of the cars that I've bought in the past, I mean, the 996, for example, I had that car and that didn't rattle at all. But I've had Minis, BMWs, and I've spent a lot of time on those cars taking the panels off, putting dyno mat, I think it's called, underneath it to stop any rattles and just to make the car a bit solid and rigid. And that seems to do the trick, but I haven't done anything yet, because I want to find the exact sort of source of the rattle before I start pulling panels off and things like that. So that is, I hate it. I absolutely despise that. I have made a video on this YouTube channel actually about the front rattle in the 911 991, so that might be worth looking at if you've maybe got a rattle of your own. Alright, so the third thing, I'll say I really don't, I mean, and I can hear rattles going there now. The third thing I hate about this car is, and you'd think car manufacturers would have learnt by now, is that if it's been raining and there's water sort of lying on the top of the car, like just here, and then you put your window down and you move the car, the water will just come gushing in, and it doesn't seem to come gushing in anywhere other than the panel for the windows, the electric panel for the windows and the wing mirrors. So it's, and we've also got a brand new Kia Sportage, and that does exactly the same. And you think years and years of car manufacturing, how they can't organise the gutter sort of rail system above to make sure that the rain does not come in. It wouldn't be so bad if it came down like this area, but it comes exactly on the switches, which obviously behind them have electrical connections. So I don't know, that's so annoying. You've just got to kind of learn to live with it, really. Actually, going back to the rattles and the noises, the vibrations that you hear through the car when you're driving, I have actually kind of learned to live with that, but it's not the ideal solution. I mean, it's the kind of thing that anyone would do, really, is either drive with the windows down, or not all the way down, maybe put both windows probably about there. And the other thing is obviously put the radio on as well. But wouldn't you think? I mean, I paid £61,000 for this car. That's just, it feels like a Fiesta. Anyway, I'm going back on myself. So that was the third annoying thing. The fourth is also just so annoying, and it's the brake squeal. Now, I didn't do it on the test drive, funnily enough, but I'm sure it's the rear brakes. When I'm driving and sort of, well, obviously stopping when you're coming up with traffic, you get a lot of brake squeal. Now, I've had the brake pads out, I've had plenty of brake cleaner on it, I've had plenty of copper grease on it, but it doesn't seem to do anything. I've had it in the Porsche as well. Now, it's funny that when I brake, I'm driving day to day, come to the traffic lights, come to a junction, it's just, you can hear the brake squeal like mad. More so obviously if you've got the windows down, which I do have to have the windows down because the rattles in the car. Anyway, so yeah, so I put it in the Porsche. What do you know, Porsche come back and say, oh, I'm sorry, we can't find any brake squeal. What we'd advise you to do is put some brake cleaner on it, put some copper grease on the back of the brake pads. Obviously I've done that. Been on forums as well, a lot of other people with the same car experiencing the same troubles. They seem to be taking things a little bit further with the dealer. This car's still under warranty, it's got a 1.5 year warranty left on it, so they seem to be a little bit firmer with their dealers. So maybe I'm thinking that I need to maybe adopt the same and be firm with them and not accept the vehicle back until it's actually until the rear squeal has actually gone. I don't mind getting my hands dirty, and I don't mind doing a bit of, you know, DIY on my car, getting the brake pad sorted, but on any other car it would work. But apparently, oh no, these are high performance brakes, so they must squeal. It's funny because I don't hear any Aston Martins or any Bentleys or Lamborghinis or Ferraris with brake squeal. So I think Porsche have actually, well, there's a little bit of bullshit going on there, if you ask me. So that's the fourth thing, which are noises. The fifth one, what was the fifth thing again? Well, actually, this is not one of the things that are noises, but I'm going to tell you about this in any case. Just when I started the car here driving out, we've got a big exclamation mark with a triangle, and it's the second time this has happened, and it states start / stop operation deactivated. Now I know start stop will activate and deactivate during normal operating procedures, you know, things like if you've got your heaters on or it's excessively cold and things like that. There are certain things that would prevent the start-stop from actually working. However, that's normally just like a small icon which comes on. This has got a big sort of exclamation mark. And last time, well, it happened about 2 months ago because a fuse had blown. So now I'm going to have to check the fuses again. It's done it again. There was a fuse in the central gateway, so the 996 that I previously had, the electrics in that were just absolutely shocking, and I had so much trouble with that, electrics wise, that is, anyway. So what was the fifth thing? Struggling to remember. Yeah, so the fifth annoying thing, and this doesn't really, it's not really annoying, well, it is, but it isn't. It doesn't really affect the drive of the car or anything like that. It's just the rear spoiler. In the previous 911s, if you are driving along on the motorway, you can generally look out the rear or the wing mirrors, and you can see that the rear spoiler is actually activated and it's come up. In this car, you have absolutely no idea as to whether the rear spoiler has actually illuminated or not. That's illuminated, what am I talking about? The rear spoiler has actually come up or not. You can't see it at all out of the windows, so you're basically relying on like reflections in other people's cars or in windows to see if the spoiler is up. Personally, I don't actually like the spoiler being up. I much prefer it when it's down. But it'd be nice to know whether it was up or not. That's all I'm saying. So that's it. That's the things that I really hate about this 911. Don't get me wrong, I love the car. It's just the small niggly little things that, if they were put right, it would be a perfect car, but it's just not quite there. And as I say, it's not a witch hunt, or it's not a hate campaign against this car, because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to put a video on of the 5 things that I most love about the car. I hope you want to watch it. If not, fair enough. But this might serve as a sort of a warning to anybody who is thinking about buying one of these cars and they're looking for sort of user experiences of how owners have found the car. I just wish those little things, like I say, were put right, and if they were put right, I'd be a lot happier about the car. But there's always, when you get in the car, there's always something in your head thinking, oh God, why is it doing that? Or like for example, the start stop which has come on. When I've been driving down, it's actually quite drove us mad making this video, because I've had no windows open and I've had no radio on, and therefore you can hear all of the rattles. You probably can't pick them up on the microphone here, but there we go. So yeah, thanks for watching this video, and I hope it wasn't too boring for you.